Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Arludo Live Science Show. My name is Isabel, and I will be your host this afternoon. And we have such an awesome show prepared for you today. We're going to be talking to a scientist. We're going to be playing video games and actually doing science. So I can't wait to get stuck in. But first, I do want to do a shout out to Armadale Secondary College who are joining us today, and they're going to be playing those games in their classrooms. And as well, I just want to say a big thank you to the University of New England and Telstra for helping us make this show possible today. This show is interactive, so like I said, we're going to be doing some science and playing video games, so you're going to need to download the game. Now the game is called Blue Steel, and you can see it here behind me. So go to Google Play or the App Store and download Blue Steel, S-T-E-A-L. And we're going to be using that a little bit later on. As well, we're going to be asking you some questions, and we want you to ask us some questions so that we can have a bit of a conversation between all of us. So to do that, you'll need to go to Slido, so just to the website, sli.do, and the code for that is M937. So you're going to, in Slido, press M937, and then you'll be able to access all the questions and all the interactive stuff that we're going to be doing. So get that sorted on your mobile or your iPad or your tablet or whatever, and get ready for that. I am going to move over to where my scientist is waiting for me, and can't wait to introduce you to him. And I'm still coming. It's a bit of a trek. And here I am. All right. So I'm super excited to introduce you to our scientist today. His name is Pietro, and he is a PhD student at the University of New South Wales, and he studies animal behavior, mostly mating behavior. So we will be talking about sex today, yes, and that is not my favorite topic to talk about at all, not even in my top 5 at all. So let me introduce you to Pietro. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm super excited to chat because, you know, just a few days ago we sat down and I was seriously just so absorbed in what you were telling me. Your research is super, super interesting. Yeah. So we're going to get stuck into that very soon. But before we do, I'm curious to know a little bit about you guys watching. And I want you guys to tell me straight off, we're going to start with a Slido question, and I want you to tell me what you think scientists are like. You know, think of one characteristic, one word that describes what you think scientists are like. That question will be popping up very soon. And we've got nerdy. Okay, fine, sure. Intelligent, curious. Yes, some great words coming up here. And as they come in, we'll be checking those out. Smart. Yeah, cool.
Careful.
Oh, careful. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. Yes, I guess you need to be careful. Would you describe yourself as intelligent?
I don't know. I don't like much of that word because we have different intelligences. So
yes.
I think, you know, people excel in one or the other, but you can't really have the full thing of being an intelligent. It's an all good thing on all kind of stats, let's say.
Yeah, like there's, you know, intelligence and like logical intelligence, yes, or emotional intelligence. Yeah, you're right. Good point. Now, what I'm curious to know is how you rate yourself compared to those words. So whatever word that you put in, I want you to now go to Slido and rate how much that characteristic is like you. So for example, if you wrote smart, then how much is that characteristic like you? so from 1 to 5. Whoa! They all popped up at. Okay, all right. So I guess we're seeing that there is quite a good association between what you guys think a scientist is and how that relates to how you see yourself. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, that's a good result.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, yeah, some people can see themselves as scientists, but it's, when you're in high school, it's hard to really know, like, what you want to do. Did you know what you wanted to do in high school?
No, I changed it a lot until I got to this point.
Yeah.
And I think, there are so many things that you can be or work with in life in general.
Yeah.
They're like, it's really difficult to know it when you're young. So, like, I would say just take your time and figure it out. But, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play a guessing game about you. And then you can tell us if we're right or not. Okay? So on Slido, I want you to answer why you think Pietro got interested in science. What was that hook? What was that spark that got him interested in being a scientist? So was it that his parents are scientists? That he loved watching nature TV shows and documentaries? That his grades were really good? Or that he wanted to be famous? We've got a lot of people saying that guessing that you loved watching TV shows and documentaries about nature. Tell us.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
It would be right, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, okay.
I did a lot of ideas, especially from animal behavior, from those TV shows and documentaries.
Yeah.
On those regards, like the BBC ones are wonderful, that you can see like how details of like macro things of the animals, they're so gorgeous and so interesting. So that definitely influenced me to be the scientist that I am today, yeah.
Right. So watching all those interesting and amazing and visually captivating things on TV, you thought, this is what I want to do.
Exactly. So like, because you see a lot of variation, a lot of how diverse things can be, like how different everything can be. And sometimes I think you can see animals, or I do, as like aliens in a way that you don't actually know a lot of stuff about it.
Yeah.
And if was a Martian coming here, like a creature, not necessarily intelligent or anything, but you would like to study, so I actually like feel the same way, in a way that I really want to know how they are, why they do that, like many questions about them.
Yeah, it just piques your curiosity, doesn't it? Yeah, that's really interesting. Another thing that we want to know about you, well, I'm curious to know, is what's your favorite thing to relax? But before you answer, let's guess. Looking at Pietro, what does he like to do to relax? Is it reading science books, going to the beach, watching documentaries, or playing video games?
Okay.
We've got a lot of people thinking that you like to play video games. Let's see as the responses come in of that, but that's like way ahead right now.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh.
So... do you like playing video games?
Yeah, I do actually. I actually don't do more, because if I did, I wouldn't work much.
Are you a bit of
I
an
tend to
addict?
get very addicted, to those, especially series, because I like them so much.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, definitely relax. You can escape the real world when you're playing.
See, I'm completely the opposite. I think video games are the most stressful thing. Like,
really?
if I play a video game, I can only play for a few minutes, and then I'm like, I can't.
It depends on the game as well, yeah.
Yeah, I find it really stressful.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for some people.
Yeah, what's your favorite game?
Well, I played a lot. I kind of stopped playing as much, but League of Legends, which is online MOBA, basically you play in a team and all.
Yeah.
But it's every like match is a different game kind of thing. It's not a continuous
Yes.
thing. But I do play quite like different genre of games and different stuff. So really, it's that's just an example.
Yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. Yeah, I actually don't know that
Okay.
game. All right. We are going to be doing some science today, but before we actually get into the game that we're going to be playing, I just wanted to chat like for a few minutes about what you actually do, because
Okay.
once we know what you do, then that'll lead nicely into the game. Yeah. So I think we have some questions actually that are coming through. Is that correct? What? Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, it just popped up now. So, and that is a very good question. So someone asked, what kind of animals do you work with? And that's what I also kind of wanted to know. Like, what do you actually do?
Right.
And what kind of animals do you work with? And all that jazz.
Okay. Well, at the moment, I work with no animals because, I mean, not
Right.
exactly, but I work in the theory, and that means that I don't go out and collect data on any animal, but I do what we call an individual-based model in which I create virtual animals in the computer that behave as I code them. So it's a lot of coding and programming.
Yeah.
And then from that, I can actually learn some things that we think about, like systems and all.
Okay, so you create virtual animals by coding them into a system, and then you get them to act in certain ways so that you can understand or predict?
Yeah, like for example, I see if males in these animals that I create, I give them characteristics like they are males or females.
Okay.
And then they actually have, for example, an X and Y to show, for example, their location in a map.
Yeah.
They move around, and when they get like a male that is available with a female that is available, they mate and create this baby's offspring.
Virtual babies.
Yes.
Are they cute?
Oh,
So cute.
But what happens is I'm trying to see if males get choosy. That is, they start to reject females because females have a size.
Yeah.
And the size kind of has a consequence for how many eggs the female lay. So for a male that is searching for a female, then if he mates with a large female, he's going to have more babies than by mating with a small female.
Yeah.
And then I kind of try to get in which scenarios that actually starts to happen when males start to say, no, I'm not going to mate with you with smaller females. And yeah, that's basically it. So it's the evolution of that trait, which is we call mate choice.
Mate choice. Okay, so depending on different things, especially the size of the female, then the male might get, is more likely to choose a larger female because they can have more babies.
Exactly.
Okay, and then that male can pass on its traits to those babies, and that's the point, right?
Yeah, the point of like mating in general in life is actually to pass your genes to the next generation. So basically, make copies of yourself.
Yeah.
And then if you do more copies, you're basically winning the game in proportion to other males that reproduce less.
Okay, all right. Interesting. Speaking of games, let's play one.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, very topically, we're going to be playing a mating game.
Cool.
Yeah, so Blue Steel is a mating game, and essentially, the way it works is you, as the player, are going to take on the role of the male bird, and you are going to try to impress a female bird to get her to mate with you. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to present her with objects. And she's either going to like those objects or not like those objects. And if she likes them, then she'll mate with you. So let's actually have a bit of a look at what that looks like, because it's a bit abstract otherwise. So very soon you're going to see what we see here on the screen, and then we'll go through step by step what you need to do and how this works. Okay? So this is what you should be seeing. Now the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to press on the top button right there.
Yes, the class code.
And you're going to enter the class code, which is ASC1425.
Let's see here. Oh,
and there it is popped up on the screen, ASC1425. So you're going to type that in.
Okay.
And it's got to be all lowercase, otherwise it doesn't work.
So I'll do that again. Okay. Right.
All right.
It's a little bit slow.
Did you press submit already?
I
there we
thought
go.
I did. Okay.
Okay. And then right underneath, you're going to enter your group name. Now, ASC, you guys should already be in groups right now. And so what you're going to do is, as a group, you're going to come up with your group name. Now, you and I are...
Oh, I had to erase the name.
Oh, 1425.
1425. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Now you and I are a team. So what's our team name? Arludo?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Arludo's
So our team names are Arludo. Pietro and I, we're going to be a team. You guys can choose whatever team name that you want and put that in.
And then submit.
And then press submit.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Play.
So we've got class code in, we've got team name in, we're good to go. Everyone's good, we can play. Let's play. So, every group will have a set of tags. And so, there we go. One of those tags you will notice has a little bird on it. And so that's the tag that you need to use first. It's your female bird. So just put that down. And if you actually can't get her to pop up as a 3D straight away, it might just be that you need to focus a little bit. So just tap your finger on the screen, and that should focus onto the tag, and then she will pop up. So isn't she cute? She's so cute. All right. Now, you've got these other tags, okay? And these are all your objects. So the thing that you need to do to present the object to the female is to just put one of the objects close to her, and she will tell you if she likes them or not. So I'm going to put these berries. Wow, okay. We've got a winner. She likes it. Okay. Now, the point of the game is that you want her to like 4 objects. You want to mate with her 4 times. Yes, you do. And so you want to present her with 4 objects that she will like, so that you get collect 4 hearts or 4 matings. So it looks like she likes berries. So you just keep going until you get those 4 hearts. Now, ASC, I know that you guys need to like kind of take off and do your own thing. That's totally fine. You can turn our volume down, and we're going to keep, Pietro and I are going to keep playing. And, you know, we'll call you back in when we're ready to move on, but you go ahead and do what you need to do. We'll catch up later. All right, so she likes the red berries.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the other objects that we have.
Do you want to try something totally different?
Yeah.
Like these flowers, yellow flowers.
Yes. Okay.
So you have to tap a little bit. Okay.
All right.
So
What does she think?
didn't like.
No, she's like, no way.
Saying,
She's not into the
No
flowers. Okay. What else do you want to try?
Let's. So maybe it's a red thing. So.
Oh, it's true, because she did like the red berries.
Yeah. So the red.
So red
cap.
bottom cap, not so much, yeah?
Apparently not.
Okay. There's some feathers here, I think.
So let's see the feather, green feather. Apparently you have to tap a little bit sometimes. Oh, there it is. but she also
Yeah, not into
doesn't-
the feathers.
she doesn't like it.
Well, is it the feathers or the green? I don't know.
Yes, apparently, well, we know she likes berries. Maybe it's the berry.
Do we have another? We have blueberries.
Oh yes, it's the,
She likes the berries.
she likes the berries.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well,
Do we have more of those?
we
More
actually.
of those berries?
Okay. So here's
Apparently.
here's the deal. And now I'm hoping that ASC actually has their volume down or muted so that they don't hear, because I'm going to tell the rest of you watching what the game actually entails. So you might be able to see all these targets, okay? Of these targets that we have in our group, there are no more berries. So there's no way for us to impress our female and get 4 hearts. So what do you think we need to do?
We need to like get out and get some.
Yeah, we need to get out into the wild and get more of the objects that she likes. Now, if we were in a big class and there were other groups, the other groups might have the berries that we need to impress our female. So let's say I was going to, go to the other group and they had a different set of tags. Maybe they have a set of berries. Yes, they do. Oh, I dropped one. So they have, so there's like yellow berries here. So, maybe we would want to, I don't know, collaborate with the other group
Right.
and either negotiate and swap. Maybe we would want to, I don't know, just compete and be really mean and steal it from them.
Right.
Whatever, right?
Exactly. Just get more berries.
Yeah, like what's the most common thing? Let's see if this works.
Oh yes,
yes.
she does like it. Good.
Okay, so it's the berries.
Yeah.
Nice.
These berries.
So let's see if there's another. I think I dropped the other set of berries. So just bear with me here. Okay. Look at how excited she is. She's like, sweet. Let's try one more set of berries.
Oh, then we won.
We have just won her over. 4 hearts. Yes, man. So tell me, now the rest of the students at ASC, they're going to play a few rounds, and we'll explain that in a second. But tell me, what happens most often in nature? Do animals collaborate and very nicely work together to exchange things, or do they compete and like steal and stuff?
Well, there are species in which males actually come together to try to attract females together, and sometimes there are times when you can have the competition. I think the competition would be more common, but you have examples of cooperation between males to actually attract females.
Okay.
But yes, for sure, I think it's more common that males will just get more resources to try to attract their females, and even if that means like competing with others directly and stealing their stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. I mean, it'll be interesting. So for you guys watching, essentially the students at ASC, they're going to be playing. The first round is just to kind of get your head around what's happening. Then the second round, they actually compete with each other to impress 2 more females, 2 different females. And so it will be interesting. We're going to ask them a little bit later what strategies they came up with to impress their females and to win over the other teams.
Right.
So that'll be really interesting to find out.
Sure.
Now, while we're waiting for them, we're going to give them a few more minutes. So while we're waiting, tell me more about what you're trying to find from your research in terms of looking at those. I think we have some questions, actually.
Oh, okay, good.
So maybe we'll pause my question. Okay, so this is one of the students from ASC who's asking this. Did studying science in high school get you ready for being a scientist?
Well, I come from a different background than you guys probably because I'm from Brazil and there the educational system is quite different.
Okay.
And it's not, I think, as interactive as you have, for example, right now.
Yeah.
So we have more, it's just like books and kind of remembering stuff a lot.
Sure.
Than actually doing experiments and learning what actually science is. So in a way, it gave like a lot of information for sure, but at the same way, it wasn't at all as how to be a scientist. It's just the part of like reading, but
Yes.
not all the other stuff
Okay.
of doing.
Yeah. And do you think that actually knowing how to be a scientist is doing science?
Yes, for sure you have to have like some information about it before you start, but science is really like some doing, like we're doing here, like the game is kind of a interesting idea to understand the rationale behind what the animals have to do and to understand like this, things that you don't actually know how they behave and why should they behave that way.
Yeah, so it's about exploring those things and actually getting stuck in and
Yeah, I think for sure it's way better to do it like that with experience that you can get the notion than just reading books.
Exactly. I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so I think that we're going to now have a bit of a quick peek at the data that's been coming in from ASC. So we are going to go over to the green screen. We're going to have a look at the data, chat about it, and ask you guys a few questions. So I'm curious to see and find out.
All right. Okay.
All right, here we are. Okay, so we are looking at the data that was collected from Armadale Secondary College. Whoa, here we are. Hello, guys, everyone. So we've got, wait, I never know which way to go. Here we go.
Yeah.
So we got Arludo, that's us. James and Ryan's group.
And
Great name. And the snacks? Yes, the snacks. Okay. Who kicked our butts, by the way?
Apparently the snacks.
Yeah. Okay. So the snacks were able to mate with two females, three females because two females. Yeah. Good job, guys. All right. So.
So we have to keep it a little bit.
So I think that what's happening actually is that people are still in the middle of playing.
Right.
And that's why we don't have all the teams up there yet. Because I was sure we didn't only have 3 teams. Like you, me, and 2 other teams. There are a few other teams going on here. But yeah, it's interesting to actually see some of the data behind us. We're going to be taking a peek at that in a little bit and seeing what happens. But while we do, I'm going to ask you what my question was going to be, which is what are some of the other things that you're trying to find out with your research and looking at like making those virtual animals? And I mean, you were talking about size, but are there any other attributes that you might be looking at or any
Yeah,
factors?
for sure. I mean, for example, in female mate choice, which is when females kind of see traits in males that get their attention or a way that they can compare males and to choose some of them.
Yeah.
We usually know, for example, that it's traits that are not necessarily like size. Something, for example, like how bright is their plumage, what we call an ornament, which is just something that is showy, like visually exciting, I guess. So it can be like that, and what we call arbitrary trait, which is just a trait that doesn't reflect anything else from the individual, but it's just visual something. I mean, I guess size can be seen that way.
Yeah.
but it could be other things.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, just if there is any variation in females, then you can expect that males can actually look at that as well.
Okay. So it's a little bit like us, you know, when we're trying to impress someone, we like dress up with our best shirt and do our hair a certain way.
Yeah, like you can say, for example, humans are exactly like that. It's not, for
Yeah.
example, seeing something that it's a direct benefit necessarily, but it's just something that pleases you, let's say like that. So it can be something like that. There are examples in nature that, for example, a female may be attracted by a male because he has like a orange spot on in his body,
Okay.
and that resembles like a little fruit that individuals of that species usually eat.
Okay.
So that's what we call, like, for example, sensory bias, that a female is kind of attracted because the male resembles food.
That would work for me too, guys.
Not that the female will eat that male, but it's something that pleases her, because it's something that attracts her.
Yeah.
So, you know, messes with her senses in a way.
Okay, interesting.
So it can be many things like that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's one example.
Yeah, that's one of the, yeah, sure. I'm wondering how we're going with those games. Do we have more? We've only still got 2 teams, so maybe we just 3 teams.
Oh.
Okay. So we're going to look at the data a little bit, and then we're going to answer, because I know you've got some questions. So we'll take a look at your questions. But just wait, you come over here.
Sure.
And we're going to look at this. Okay, so right there we've got the number of matings. Wait, why does it say 9? That is very odd. It's like someone managed to get 9 matings. I think it should say 1. So anyway, when we look at that, we're noticing that it's actually 0 and 1. So that's like the first time. 0 is the first time you tried it. You tried to impress your female, and then 9 should be 1 is the second time that you tried to impress your female. So what's going on there? It looks like the second time it actually on the vertical axis is the number of mistakes that we made. Yeah. Meaning the number of mistakes, like the number of objects that we showed the female bird that she didn't like. That would count as a mistake. So it looks like the second time we played, we made more mistakes than the first time we played. That seems really odd.
Yes, I wouldn't expect that. I mean, if we learned anything at all, we would decrease the number of mistakes that we made.
Yeah. So we should expect, and I mean, science is never what you think it's going to be. You know, like you have a hypothesis, you think it's going to be one thing, and often you look at the results and you start scratching your head and you think, that is very weird. Right. And that's what's happening right now, actually. So, yeah, so we should be seeing
okay, no.
Now it's 069, but yeah, let's say it's still odd though. Okay, so what we should be seeing, or what we would have expected to see, is that the first time we played, we would have made more mistakes, and then as we played more rounds, we would have made fewer mistakes because we learn. But that doesn't always work out that way.
Sometimes it's just going a different direction than what we expect.
Let's look at what's behind us now. I think we need to go this way a little bit. Okay. And okay, so again, the horizontal is the number of games or rounds that we played. So we played the first round, the second round, the third round, and the fourth round. I don't know why those numbers are funny, but that's what that is. And then on the vertical axis, we have the average time, so how long it took us to mate with our female. Okay, so the first time we played, the second time we played, the third time we played, the fourth time we played. How long did it take us to mate with the female? Now, what is this telling us, Pietro?
Well, I think at least taking out that then last bar, would it be a decrease in the time that we take to actually mate, which is then basically we learned every and more matings. I mean, the time progresses, then we kind of learn what objects does the female like.
So it takes less time.
It takes less time.
Yeah. Okay. So it took a lot of time the first time we played, and then less and less and less time, except for this one.
Yes, except for
which
this
is
one.
a little bit odd. It's a bit like an oddball there.
Yes.
And I think that the data behind us. There we go.
Let's go to that side.
Yeah, has changed since the last time we looked at it.
Okay, but
it's still a little bit weird.
But if we imagine this one to be a little bit high, then we can find a decrease maybe.
Yeah. So I guess that also makes sense. Like if we bring it back to humans and how, mating for humans works. Like if the first few times you go on a date, you don't really know like the kinds of people you might like to meet and stuff. And so it might take a little bit longer to find someone that you actually like. But then once you go on a few dates, you know the kinds of things that you're looking for in a partner. And so it might take less time for you to find that person.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like that, exactly.
Okay. Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you learn and you expect to get better, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I think we have some questions from the students, so we're going to walk back over and we're going to start looking at those questions. We'll be back in a sec. Just coming around. Now, one question I have while I pull up the questions from the students, one question I have is I've heard that some species of animals actually imitate, so for example, like a male would imitate a female so that it could trick another male. Does that happens?
Yes, that does happen.
Okay.
For example, in animals that sometimes hold territories or at least try to compete with other males to make them unable to actually access a female, then the other males can have a strategy that we call a sneaking strategy that is kind of to go past, like bypass the male that is guarding the female in a way that he won't perceive him. And sometimes that can be done if the male kind of resembles as a female, and then he sneaks into the territory and then mates with a female while the guardian male is not looking.
That is so sneaky.
Yeah. Exactly,
wow. Okay. Very interesting. Look, I think we've only got 2 minutes left, so I'm going to ask you one question, and then we'll have to wrap it up. Oh my God, time flies. It's crazy. So which animals does male mate choice happen in?
Okay, so actually there are plenty of animals that we know about male mate choice.
Okay.
But especially in these ones that females can vary in characteristics that's gonna actually express differences in how many offspring does she lay, for example. Or so, for example, in fish, this pattern of larger females lay more eggs than smaller females is something that happens quite a lot.
Okay.
So we know for sure that some species the males actually prefer larger females than compared to small females, for example.
Okay, cool. I've just been told that we actually have a little bit of extra time, so we have time for a couple more questions.
All right.
Yes, good, because there's some really good ones here. So what's the most interesting thing about your job?
Wow, I don't know.
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because it's all of it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the most interesting, I guess it gives us a lot of freedom to, pursue the questions that you want to do. So If you compare, for example, another scientist, it's not going to be exactly the same experience that I have. We have like so a diverse array of things that we can do. Then to be a scientist can be a very different thing when you look into different scientists' lives.
Yeah.
So I think it's really like the uniqueness of what you actually do. And because there's so much to explore, then there's no enough scientists to actually cover all of that.
Yeah, I know.
There's always stuff that you can actually go investigate. So I think it's the uniqueness, I guess. It's the most interesting thing that only you and some other people do that like those questions and think about that.
Yeah, because it's really specific. But the really cool thing is, like you said, you know, every time you ask a question and try to answer it, so many more questions come up. And so, you know, there's so much we don't know. A lot of people think that we've discovered everything. There's nothing left to be discovered, and that is completely the opposite, right? Like so much we don't know, and that so many answers to still be, or questions to still be asked. So, yeah. One last question: which animal has the most unique mating procedure? Very good question.
I don't know what exactly you mean by unique mating system, but there are several types that are quite weird. For example, there are in many spiders and praying mantises that the female eats the male, sometimes even before the mating, so the male actually doesn't gets the chance to mate.
That's odd.
But or sometimes like the male has a way to start the copulation while he's being eaten, as in some praying mantises.
That sounds terrifying.
But sometimes also the males can do stuff to females, like actually pierce through her abdomen to actually mate with her, so injures the female in a way to actually mate with her.
Oh my God, this sounds terrifying and scary, and
it's quite violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting. Look, it's an odd one to leave. We're going to leave it at that. Hey.
Okay.
But it is all the time we have. So, look, I want to thank you so much, Pietro, for coming and chatting to us about your work. It's so interesting. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Thank you, Armadale Secondary College. Your questions were awesome, and we really liked having a bit of a chat with you. Thank you to University of New England and Telstra for making this show possible today. Look, we do these all the time, so subscribe to our channel, and you will, we'll let you know when the next one is, and we'll keep you updated on the cool things that we're doing. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us again, and we will see you very soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.